for Siege, so I'm just gonna get right into it. Virtus Pro. This game, Virtus Pro for sure. Even with the, I'm gonna base it off of how much more points you can get for betting on the underdog too, and all that type of stuff. But for this one, definitely Virtus Pro. That one's a lockout right there. Ghostgilla and looking for org. Definitely would go with Ghostgilla. They obviously have ex pro players, ex Challenger League players. Just good, just a good pick all around. This one, 98%. I don't know why it's not 100. If Empire loses to Povezlo, that would be kind of embarrassing. I mean, really embarrassing. Even if they have nothing to play for, it'll be pretty bad for them to lose that. Um, Rogue versus whatever this team is. Definitely Rogue on this. These are just a lot of these are national leagues, and they're just absolute lockouts for a lot of them. This one, 430 versus Remy. I mean, if you want to go for the underdog, Remy's not too bad of a team. I mean, yeah, they're right below, but yeah, yeah, I'd say Remy would be a good underdog pick, but I have to go with 430. They are just looking very good this season because they're ahead on the standings of Virtus Pro. I mean, so is Remy, but 430 are definitely my pick from Russia to go into the Challenger League for Europe. Um, Penta versus Team Secret. Now this one, it I'm definitely going for Secret. They're a pro league team that's doing good. I don't really know. I think they're like a Turkish and German lineup now, so I don't really know who these people are necessarily. And for the 21%, that's still going to give you a good compared to like if it was Team Secret 98, 99%. Definitely go Team Secret on this one. Dead Inside versus Vazair. They're just bottom of the table in Russia, but still, I'm going with Dead Inside. Do they have any good matchups? Let me see if I can see it. They're gonna show me their um. I think they've had one or two good showings against better teams than themselves. And obviously, G2 versus GC Esport. Definitely G2, unless you are feeling really frisky with that 1% and want a ton of points. For I don't know, this is one that you could use Kevlar on because if you get this, you get 1,000 Kevlar. It's a possibility. You might. So that was Tuesday. Let's go to Wednesday. Some more National Leagues. Kova versus Granite. Um, let me. They both won their last two. Honestly, I would go with Kova for the upset on this one. Not necessarily because I think they're gonna win 100. Like they have 100%. But I think with the 18%, you're getting. Let me look at it on my phone because the app is completely different than the website. Wednesday, Kova versus Granite. Yeah, you're getting a 270 kickback compared to 159 for Granite, and they're right next to each other on the table. They're both 3-3. Yeah, so like I definitely would go with the upset on that one. Mako versus IGP. I'm liking Mako on this one. They have Sir Boss. That's like the main player from that team that they lost to Makers, who are just I'm pretty sure that's who their loss was to because Makers is unstoppable in in the Italian league. I could see them. I mean, they're going to the sixth invitational too, so that Ambush versus Riddle. Um, I'm just solely kind of not solely basing it off of like how where they're placed on the table, but I feel like Ambush is just a better team than Riddle. I think Ambush was the one that took down Chaos, which Chaos isn't at their top form right now, but still, I would go with Ambush on this one. Chaos versus XN. Chaos is number one. XN don't have a win. I think this one's pretty obvious. Go with Chaos. Especially the 4%. That's just downright not that smart. 50-50 on this one. What is it? Outplayed in Totem? I feel at the moment with them being 50-50, I'm liking I don't know. I don't know on this one. I'm liking Outplayed. But if it skews one way or another, go with the upset because then you'll get more points. Unless, obviously unless something happens between these teams between then and now and then. But as it gets closer, pick the upset. Makers versus Cyberground. Makers played 3 games without dropping a single round. These 3 right here, they didn't lose a single round. They went 21-0. You pick an upset against Makers, I don't think it'll pan out. Skade versus High Coast. Yeah, Skade is 1-5 with their last 5 being L's. High Coast is 5-1. I definitely would go with High Coast. And I mean, 13% isn't terrible to bet against because you're still, if it's in the double digits that you're betting against, you're still looking fine. Humble versus Notorious Legion. Are they close on the table? I'd go with Notorious Legion. They have Sloppy, the ex-pro player, and they're just higher on the table, and it's a really close percentage. So with everything in favor of Notorious and still getting the 48% on the other side, that's perfect to bet against. That was Wednesday. Now we move on to Thursday, and that's just some more National Leagues, I believe. Yep. V-Pro versus Vazaire. Definitely Virtus Pro. Virtus Pro is low on the standings, but I mean Vazaire is 1-11. Virtus Pro, they struggle against. It seems to be they struggle against these 3 teams up here in the Russian league, but taking out the 1-11, 2-10, 3-9 isn't too difficult for Virtus Pro. Cyberground versus IGP. Cyberground. I don't like the upset on this one. I think picking Cyberground is your best bet. IGP. I know it's hard to get getting later in the week and they've already played games. IGP might have popped off in their last game, and Cyberground could have done terribly, and that could sway it. But as of right now, that's who I'm picking. Penta versus G2. This one I'm going G2 for sure. Penta once again, old Penta. I'd maybe go with the upset, but the new Penta is not at its final form. They have potential. I think they're a younger team, but I don't think they're beating G2. Let me look at the table. G2, Rogue, Penta, and this team. Secret has a loss. But yeah, they have 1, 2, 3 Pro League teams in the German League. Remy versus Virtus Pro. On this one, depending on what it's looking like earlier in the week for their first game, I might go Remy with the 5%. I don't know if I'm saying Remy maybe. I'm not sure, but 5%. That's a big kickback, and they're higher on the standings. They have more to fight for. If they stay in this top position. They're looking, to have it be able to play. What are their playoffs? Top four. So one, two, three. Yeah, they're fighting to stay in top four. But if they, you know, they've kind of got to scale off a few of these teams. But yeah, picking the upset on this one. I'm probably gonna use my turbo booster on the app and get double. And um, next one, Mako versus Humble. Um, like the previous ones for these later in the week, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know who I want to go with, but I'm gonna go with Mako just because of experience. They have Sir Boss. They have some older not stars but good players. So yeah, Mako on this one. Oh, did I mess it up? I think I messed it up. These two teams, hmm, as of what I'm seeing here, I'd I'd go with Ghost Skilla. They have the upset, even though the rankings on Strafe don't really matter, but they're just, I feel like they're just a better team. Oh, I opened it in a new window. Okay. 430 versus Dead Inside. Um, Dead Inside's on the downswing. They lost their last five. 430. I feel going up against the 17% is the perfect pick on this one. Totem versus Makers. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Totem did well in some league against BDS and a few pro teams, but Makers unstoppable this season so far. I can't bet against them. Gotta go with Makers. Secret versus GC. I'm just Team Secret. That's what I'm going with. MA4 versus Pavezlo. Um, honestly, the 18. If this stays below 20%, that's what I'm gonna go with. But if it goes above 20%, going MA4. Yeah, if Pavezlo proves itself on, I think it's Tuesday, I'm definitely going with them on this day. Notorious Legion versus Outplayed. Um, I'm liking Notorious Legion. Like I said, they have Sloppy. Sloppy's not like an insanely good player, but for the Italian league, he's definitely one of their top performers. And rounded out on Thursday, Rogue versus Looking for Org. I'm going with Rogue. They just, have what they need to beat a team that I don't know really anything about them. So we move on to Friday. Nothing Friday, nothing Saturday, and nothing Sunday. So that rounds out my predictions for that week.